Hi, we are at the second recorded video session of the chapter called Creating Managing Tables. The objectives for this session is to use the create table statement to create database tables, use a default option when defining column names, take notice and know how to query the data dictionary, and to create a database table using a subquery. The syntax of the create table statement is listed below. You can see there the keywords create table. Optionally, the schema name. The schema name is the name of the user. For example, at MR Learning Campus, the usernames are user1. So you can say, for instance, create table user1 dot employees or whatever. Then the name of the table, brackets, the column, its data type, optionally default and an expression, and optionally another column, data type, etc. Close the create statement with a bracket and a semicolon. You must specify the table name as specified by the examiner, and it must be spelled correctly. You must specify the column name spelled correctly. You have to specify the correct column, data type, and correct column size. The default option. This option specifies a default value to be automatically assumed if the user or the programmer has not specified the value. Some examples are invoice date, data type date, default sysdate. So in an insert statement like we've seen before, I can then say when I want to insert an invoice date, I can just say default, and it will then assume the value of the sysdate, which is the current date. Another example is answered, data type char, and the default value is Y for yes. So once again, if I do an insert statement, instead of saying Y, I can just say default, and it will come to the data table definition and the column, and it will assume this value of yes. Literal values, expressions, or SQL functions are all valid values, but must match the data type of the column. The create table example. Write an SQL statement to create a table named account holder as specified below. Now, your questions that you will get in assessments will be similar. We give you the field names, account number, surname, name, birth date, cell phone, deposit, and you spell your field names exactly the same. The data type for account number is 8 digits. There are no restrictions. The data type for surname is 7 characters long. Now you can assume 7 characters, surname, that will be variable character length. And the restrictions, there's not a fixed length. Okay, so they have also said that. Name, 10 characters long, not a fixed length. Birth date, data type date, automatically assumes the current date. That must give you a hint. Cell phone, 10 characters long, must be a fixed length. Deposit must have some digits and must store deposits up to 9,999 Rand and 99 cents. The solution now, the keywords, create table. The name of the table that we specified, account holder, bracket. The first column, account number, data type, number, 8 digits, comma. Remember the commas. Some students maybe forget about the commas. They don't insert commas, then they lose a lot of marks. Next column, surname, varchar to 7 because it's not a fixed length. Name, varchar to 10 because it's also not a fixed length. Birth date, data type date, default sysdate because we said in the restriction it must automatically assume the current date. Cell phone, fixed length, 10 characters long, so char 10. Deposit must be able to store deposits up to 9,999.99, so it's number, 6 digits in total, 2 decimal digits, so therefore number 6,2, close the bracket and semicolon. Note that every column definition ends with a comma and not with a semicolon. The deposit does not provide for a comma, or the currency symbol in the 9,999 Rand and then 99 cents. Therefore, the deposit has 6 digits in total and 2 decimal digits, therefore number 6,2. Remember, you don't specify the Rand or the 1,000 separator in your data type or in the insert statement. The data dictionary. The Oracle Data Dictionary is a collection of all the objects maintained by the Oracle server, and it consists most importantly of user tables that are created and maintained by the user, and these user tables start with user underscore. To view information of tables owned by the user, you can query, for example, user underscore tables data dictionary view. You can see now tables owned by the user, therefore the name of the data dictionary is user underscore tables. First do a describe and then query the info you require. For example, I want to query the data dictionary that contains tables about users or created by users. So I say describe user underscore tables. That's the name of the data dictionary. Get the information on the number of rows in the table and whether the table has been backed up. Remember to specify the table name in quotes and capitals. That's very important. So the statement, select table underscore name, comma, backed underscore up, num underscore rows. You can get that from your describe user tables and the description of the question. From user tables, where table name equals, and now the table name in single quotes and capital letters, which is BK underscore author. And it will list in for you, table name is BK author, backed up says N because it was not backed up, and the number of rows it has is currently 14. To view information of all tables owned by all users, you can query the data dictionary called all tables. Creating a table using a subquery. We've learned about subqueries in chapter 6, and now we're going to create a table and insert rows by combining the create table statement as in the as subquery option. The syntax is create table, table name, optionally the column names, as the keyword, and then the subquery. Although the subquery is not listed now in parentheses like the subqueries of chapter 6. You must match the number of specified columns to the number of the subquery columns. You must specify column names for different names or expressions in the select list. Example number 1 says create a table named order books and insert or add all the books that individuals sell for more than 50 Rand. List for every book the order number, its title, the retail price and the total price. Therefore, the solution is create table, the name is ordered books, in brackets the column names, order number, title, retail, and now I want to name this table, the last column total price, I want to name it total, so therefore we have to specify in brackets the column names, order number, title, retail and total, as the keyword, and then your subquery, select order number, unique cap, the title, okay, unique cap of the title, retail, quantity times retail, from BK order items, BK books, BK costs, where OISBN is BISBN, and BISBN and is CISBN, and retail is greater than 50. The next session will cover the alter table statement to change the structure of a table, the drop table and truncate table statements to remove tables, and the rename statement to give alternative names to database objects. Thank you.